修得好的话，因为这个是法如以法的心要戒言啊，如果修得好的话，肯定的这一生会得到解脱跟成就。
These teachings in content, from preliminary to the great perfections, which is Dzogchen teachings, all include within the short teaching.
然后这个教法包含从初学的前行法，然后一直到最后的周八千佛周线这个大圆满的教法，从最初到最后都包含含摄在其中，都圆满的具足了。
So before we practice in Dzogchen teachings, great perfections, we must emphasize on the preliminary teachings. Preliminary teachings are very important. Might you know everyone the 5 preliminary teachings, but most important emphasize meditation on the returning mind from samsara. There is a full reversal of attitude. So these are really important. So today we have only one day. So as much as we can, each sections we try to meditate, just rather than talk.
总之，还没有修习这个周线之前，大圆满之前呢，我们必须要把这个前行的准备功夫所做好。那所有的前行功夫，最主要有这个4转心法或者转心4要。那今天因为时间很简短，那只有1天的时间，那我们尽量不只是人不间这边讲，那我们要做这个禅修，做这种转心4法的这个禅修。
So. The first important, whatever you do or listen the teaching or doing the virtuous things, the generate mind, taking the Buddhista is very important. So everyone just take a Buddhista. As we morning we did also prayer, and so here also we just dedicate for all the sentient beings and generate your mind, take a Buddhista mind. That's very important.
那很重要的，不管我们是做这个佛教的早课，或者是听闻法教，乃至做一切的善事之前，我们一定要先广发这个纯净的、无暇的、利他的菩提心。所以呢，就是要花一点时间去调整我们的动机或者我们的念头，就是要广发利他的菩提心，就是把聆听教法、禅修等等一切善行、善业所做的一切功德，都无私无己的供养一切众生，这就是菩提的利他法心。
So when we learn in the Buddhist teachings, there usually cause three things pay attention. The first, listen the teaching, and then contemplate, and the final meditation. These 3 are very important.
通常我们听闻法教的学习佛法书，3个要点是非常重要的，就是一般所说的闻思和修。闻是听闻教法，思就是思维教法，然后修是修持或者禅修这个教法。
So the first thing is very important. On the other hand, without listening and without receiving teachings, study teachings, we cannot just contemplate or meditate. So in order to meditate, in order to put them in practice, the first is very important.
然后第一个闻思修，第一个就是闻就是听闻教法。那如果还没有听闻教法，就立刻去思维教法内意，然后去禅修的话，那是不可能的。所以首先第一个基础我们要打，就是要多听闻这个教法。
So even you listen and study Dharma, maybe you spend a year and a year study and Dharma, but if you do not practice and do not put them in your practice, then nothing happens in your mind. So study alone cannot achieve an enlightenment. So all these 3 are unique, and all these 3 are very important.
但是如果你是听闻教法，你有思维教法，你没有把所听闻所思维教法加以实用、加以圆成实践的话、实修的话，那你无法获得佛法上的成就跟这个功德。所以这3个闻思修是同等重要，同样必须要具足的。这3个我们都要一定要有，那不可或缺，也就是所谓的闻思修。
Then after you study all this, doing these 3 things, then we usually say the view and the view and also contact, the view, meditation, and contact. These 3 are come from all these studies.
当我们闻思修的基础打好之后， 在这个文思修的基础之上，我们有所谓的大圆满的见修和行。
So then, so most we were going to talk more, but these are another four. What we are as Buddhist practitioners. So what we want to practice, what we call as a Buddhist. So if you have all these four categories, then we are real practitioner as a Buddhist practitioner. On the other hand, just we are follower the tradition and carrying the name of Buddhist, it's really difficult to we are real as practitioner.
那什么叫做佛教徒呢？佛法修持的核心是什么？以什么资格才具体教你叫做三宝弟子呢？也就是举这四个要点。你要有这四个要点的话，你才是一个如理如法的真正的佛弟子。那不然的话，你只是传统上名义上把自己叫做三宝弟子，可是你不具足所谓的作为佛弟子应该有的一个主要的条件，有四个要点。
The first one is take a refuge. Taking a refuge is from your heart. So we were going to talk about more, but the first important is taking a refuge. Second is take a Buddhista. So this is sometimes we says the Mahayana or Hinayana or something like Yana's tradition. How we differentiate? If you have a Buddhista mind, if you are taking the Buddhista, then you are automatically become a Mahayana practitioners. So the second is Buddhista.
那第一个就是所谓的皈依啊，皈依戒就是判定我们是不是佛弟子的一个先决的条件，有皈依才是真正的三宝弟子。然后第二就是发菩提心，那一般我们说的小乘行者跟大乘行者是分别，那就是说大乘行者有发这个广大利他的菩提心，所以如果你有一个广大利他的菩提心的话，你就是一个真正的三宝以及这个菩萨乘的修行者。
So third is the renunciation. Renunciation means not just you everything's left behind and you go to the retreat or something like in the cave. Renunciation is your mind not to indulge some worldly things. Whatever you're doing something, just check your mind and dedicate others and the purpose to achieve enlightenment, the purpose for the liberate other sentient beings. So this is we call renunciation.
然后第三个是所谓的出离心啊，出离心并不是说你把世间的一切统统丢掉，然后去上禅闭关一个人修行，不是这个意思。真正的出离心是不管你做什么，不管你是谁，你都有这个利他的这个广大的利他的之心，然后希望把自己修行的功德都回向给一切如母众生，希望能够把你自己的修行功德能够利益他们、解脱他们，使他们得到究竟圆满的安乐的幸福，这个才是真正的出离心。
So the fourth is emptiness. When we talk about emptiness, just these are the result of meditations. The first and second and third. Then after slowly we meditate on the emptiness. Emptiness we slowly we will understand what is the meaning of that.
然后第四个就是空性正见。空性正见在所闻，然后所修，闻思之后呢，所修成的空性，然后就是空性的空正见。那就是我们所获得听闻佛法、思维佛法，然后禅定于佛法当中所获得的果证，也就是空性。
So all these are included these teachings, and so now I am going to explain the main our actual teachings.
所以这个都包含在这个法王如意法的中年心明点当中。所以现在人们就会直接进入这个主题，为各位讲解这个。
So, I suppose the end of these teachings they have Dzogchen, Tachchen, and Torga, the more emphasis on this kind of Dzogchen teachings. So, the first thing is, as I mentioned before, should be more emphasis on the preliminary teachings. So after you training your mind, then automatically Dzogchen is coming, and then before the Dzogchen, the very important emphasis on the preliminary teachings, and then after you mind turning by these kind of things, then you reach certain of level, and then you practice Guru Yoga more. Then Dzogchen is some like you need to receive the PD instructions, certain teachers. Then your mind be automatically interested to involve the practice in Dzogchen.
然后在这个修这个中原心智一点过后，我们就来到大圆满，就是密乘的修持的顶端。那就是有这个 treasure 的 toga， 就是这个立断跟顿潮。可是在这个之前，大圆满这个立断跟顿潮之前呢，我们必须要把这个前期的基础给打好。那前期基础打好之后，修心修的纯熟的时候，你就进一步修持上师瑜伽。然后上师瑜伽的口诀诀窍之后，自然你的心就对这个佛法有这个修持的热忱。那时候就离开大圆满的境界就不远，那时候才进修大圆满的顿操，立断跟顿操，这样就能够获得大圆满的成就。
So these are the foundation of we are practicing Dzogchen teachings. Sometimes people say some guru or some masters, they don't require of preliminary teachings. They were given some like certain Dzogchen teachings. But no matter what they require or not, that is individually important. We are very important. If we have enough or established the foundation, then when we receive the Dzogchen teachings, there are more blessings. On the other hand, without the foundations, no matter you receive in the Dzogchen or just you practice in a high level, or it's very difficult to achieve enlightenment within the life.
那无论怎么样好，但是现期有一些上师他不强调这个前行法，有一些上师很强调这个前行法。那不管上师们强不强调这个前行的基础的重要性，那对我们个人而言的话，如果我们有前行的基础给打好的话，这样对我们领受一些比较高阶的教法，比如说大圆满、大手印等这些时候，那我们所得到的教法就更具有这个加持力。那更具有加持力，我们修行就能够比较得心应手、事半功倍，自然就会获得大圆满的寄生成就。那不然的话，你一下子就跳进去这个比较高阶的大圆满的教法，你前期的功夫基础没有打好的话，即便你修的再高再深，也不会获得立刻的顺利的这个成就跟这个果德。
So now that I'm going to with the Tibetan letters and English, Chinese as well, because it is not necessarily giving your oral transmission separately. I just you receive in the meanwhile teachings, oral transmissions as well. This is very important, as I mentioned before. So just saying the words in Tibet and then say in English and transmission as well.
那么这只要用藏文念，然后念出英文的，然后翻译成中文的。通常这个口传不必下次给，因为大家一边听一边明白的时候，就得到了整个这个心灵点的这个口传跟诀窍。
Okay, so so in Tibetan, the heart essence, my heart advice. So this is here first we says the title of name. And then we salutation of the Manjushri, and then the author or writer he promised to write this. These three things are tradition of Buddhist every text.
然后呢，就是中原心智理解一开始就是第一个顶礼文殊舍利菩萨，然后第二就是为什么要写这个作品，然后第三。也就是写这个作品的这个功德的利益是什么？所以这三点一般的这个寄送呢，一般的这个造送或者是造这个作品直接会引的这三个要点。
So Nyangtam means just a hard advice. These are as a hard advice from His Holiness Jigme Phuntsok. So these titles, given the titles of the text. So one of the Langara Sutra mentioned that every text giving the title, the main three reasons.
那么这个央康的意思是心言心要见言，也就是这个基督教法王如意把他的心要的一种建议，他给弟子们的修行的一些诀窍，是从他内心深处发出来，传给他的弟子们的。 那么呢，通常在入楞严经那个书段里面有解释这个的，为什么要有这个题目呢？有这边有解释。
The three reasons of giving the titles this mentioned in the sutra. If those who full qualified or who has high wisdom persons when see these titles, every text which is titles, then they understand roughly the meanings of the text.
那第一个原因有3个要点，入楞现经里面，第一个要点，那些具德具智，也是具足功德、具足智慧的行者，一听到这个题目，他就大概知道这个作品、这个经典、这个经文要讲的是什么。
The middle of the wisdoms, those persons who, when they see this title of a text, they understand that this text which is include tantra or sutra or which are belong.
然后中等的中士者，那他一听到或者看到一部经论的题目的话，他就知道它是属于哪个类别，属于这个密册的这个密续的，还是属于这个经论的大乘的经论，他就懂得分判。
Even those who lower wisdom or the ordinary persons, they understand like the giving the title of medicine. So this is like a book or something like the tablet names, you know. So that as I understand the book.
所以，即便是下等的修行人，他们一听到这个某某经论的名称、名字的话，他们就知道，好像药的名称，你给个药的名字一出来，他知道这个药是医哪个病的。所以他听到这个经论的名字的话，就知道这个经论的作用、目的跟功德是为了做什么而有的。
So now, the book Ramjam Tipji Gary Sansam, Chigdi Tawis Manbi, Joner Mavi Nima Kandi, Chulo Shanchilam the Jurans, made youthful son of speech, Manjushri in his enlightened form with the sign and mark, embodying secret body, speech, and mind of all the infinite Buddhas and their Bodhisattvas here, turning your minds towards the path to perfect awakening. So, the Ramjams translate at infinite Buddhas. So all the present Buddhas everywhere, just Manjushri is the one of Bodhisattva. He just present as a Bodhisattva, but he already enlightened beings. So Manjushri is personally, Jigme Phuntsok is like a personal deity as well. His Holiness, when he visited in the Bhutan, that time he wrote this text. Usually, Jigme Phuntsok, he wrote a book. He don't need to think and just, it's not like others. He automatically come from within his mind. And this is also 22 minutes he wrote. When Khenpo Tsurum Noodles was there in Jigme Phuntsok, he just told us, when he cooked the Jigme Phuntsok, and that time he just went to take in the water or fetch the water, and he came back to Jigme Phuntsok. He already wrote this text. So this text is written by blessing of the Manjushri, and Jigme Phuntsok as an emanation of Manjushri. So this is that's why he just saluted to the Manjushri, and he wishing to Manjushri's blessing to our divorce.
所以这边他这样所指的就是无边我们今天这个第一句吧，那请各位看中文的法文。无边佛子，诸能人，三密合集，相好生，愿彼童子妙吉祥，转入心向菩提道。那这边所说的拉这样就是指的是无边佛子诸能，就是无量无边的诸佛菩萨的意思。然后这边主要的一个本尊叫做妙吉祥，妙吉祥就是文殊师利菩萨。然后文殊师利菩萨虽然现这是菩萨的像，可是久远劫以来他是已经成就的这个佛，所以他是一尊佛。所以呢，在这边呢，这个法王如意宝，这边公主跟这边公主，他本身的本尊。法王如意宝自己的本尊就是文殊师利菩萨，他也是文殊师利菩萨的化身当法王如意宝去到五台山的时候，中国的五台山就是文殊菩萨的圣地的时候，那时候他跟这个天仙寿须多肉在一起，他带他一起过去。那么呢，他就去到五台山的时候， 他去取水的时候，回来的时候在23分钟里面去完成的这一个作品，这个心要力点。那时候他法王，你知道法王所讲的话，所写的心意腹藏所做的作品，都是内心中自然流露出来，因为他就是有这个文殊师利菩萨的自然的智慧，所以他是文殊师利菩萨的这个化身。所以因为要感恩文殊师利菩萨，因为这一部作品都是从文殊师利菩萨的根本智慧里面自然流露出来的，所以第一个寄送我们就必须要顶礼或者是皈依或者是赞叹文殊师利菩萨妙吉祥的功德跟成就。
So Manjushri is as a representation of the wisdom of all the Buddhas.
那我们都知道文殊师利菩萨妙吉祥是诸佛智慧的总集体，它代表所有诸佛的智慧。
He has appeared as a bodhisattva in order to tame the sentient beings, or in order to eliminate the darkness of sentient beings.
可是为了要救助我们这个娑婆世界的众生，或者为了要转化众生的无明昏暗为般若智慧的，他现菩萨的身相来这个世界救度我们。
So here is called as a sign, because the sun is illuminated dark from the earth. So his wisdom as a sign. So our ignorance, our mind covered by ignorance. So the Manjushri blessing us to remove our ignorance.
这边中文的没有这样的这个翻译，可是在英文的藏文里面有讲说，文殊师利菩萨的口语好像阳光一样。阳光的作用是什么？阳光作用就是把无明的昏暗给驱除掉。所以文殊师利菩萨所讲的话，他的智慧就好像太阳的光明一样，能够把无明的黑暗给驱除掉，给吹散掉，给摧毁掉。所以这个是文殊师利菩萨的果德跟他的事业。
So we usually call Manjushri as a father of Buddha, and also the Manjushri he generate mind for the sentient being is different. There is 3 categories of generation of mind. The Manjushri generate mind is like a shepherd's mind. He don't care himself. He also mentioned in the sutra. Until all sentient beings achieve enlightenment and never be achieve enlightenment. That's the Manjushri's wisdom, power, and also his generate mind, Buddhicitta, is very different than other Buddhas.
那我们说文殊师利菩萨，文殊佛，他是所有的诸佛之父，就是说诸佛的父亲就是文殊师利菩萨，因为诸佛的本源就是般若智慧，我们是这样讲。那我们说。菩提心有3种发心：牧羊者发心、国王发心，跟这个同等正发心。那文殊师利菩萨的发心是牧羊者发心，就是所有的羊都进去这个回家的时候，他才回去。所以他希望一切众生都成就佛道之后，他自己才来成就佛道。所以就这点文殊菩萨所发的愿力，跟其他的诸佛菩萨是完全是相当不一样的，非常殊胜、非常特别的，叫牧羊者发心。
So His Holiness mentioned that may your turned mind from the samsara and may blessing to you the Manjushri. So he just saluted to the Manjushri in order to the disciples like mind turned from samsara and getting a blessing. So he just saluted to the Manjushri and also he wishing to all the sentient beings.
那为什么这个法王无疑法王在这边赞颂、赞叹跟学习文殊菩萨的功德，然后顶礼文殊师利菩萨？因为希望经过文殊师利菩萨的大加持力，能够把众生的心从轮回转向这个菩提道。所以希望经过文殊菩萨的这个妙吉祥的加持，我们的心能够从轮回的世间法转向成涅槃道或者菩提道。就因为这样的缘故呢，所以在这边先赞颂文殊师利菩萨的这个智慧。
So this is we call it a salutation of the personality or whatever, the wishing and salutations together in this section.
所以在这边就是这个发愿跟这个赞颂都联合在一起，在第一句话当中呢，就是我们以赞叹，而且是随喜文殊菩萨的加持，希望能够把我们的心转向这个从轮回转向菩提道，这是第一个句子的这个功用。
So the second is that just a promise to writing the as a text. So this is Thalin Rovi Mulo Dansam Bazayan Chutz Waki Malaya Nat the journey Nyamsulin with Nyatam Nyambo Nyandi Joladam. So Thalin, it's not necessary to read in English. It's okay or English? Okay. There is countless Dharma teachings performed and extensively suited to the mental capacity and inclination of limitless beings. Yet by gathering all the key points together in a way that can be practiced, I offer this speedy advice to you, my friends, who are as dear as my own heart.
第二个呢，我们看中文就是这样念的：相应无量有其意，深广法理虽难测，归纳实修之要诀，中言机要告密的。
So these are he given the teachings according the capacity of all infinite sentient beings. Our Lord Buddha, he achieved enlightenment eons, 1,000 eons before he achieved enlightenment, and the main purpose to benefit for sentient beings.
那这一边呢，就是说，虽然这个众生有无量无边的众生，各个都有不同的根器，他们的习惯和习性都不一样，但是诸佛因为千劫以来，诸佛处事或者出现在世界上的唯一目的，就是根据众生不同的根器，而用种种不同的方便跟法门，来随着众生的根器呢，去度化他们，随其方便。
So this one of the sutra says that the Buddhas, the Lord Buddhas, achieve enlightenment in order to benefit for sentient beings, millions and billions of sentient beings. So still he already enlightened, but he appear as like a Lord Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings.
那有一部经典这样说的：虽然我们看到有佛出生，但实际上佛出生，然后出家，然后成道涅槃。可是呢，佛本身已经在无量劫以前，他已经成就佛道。他这一次会示现一生的成就给我们看，那是为了要度化我们，所以显现出化身佛释迦牟尼来演示这种度化众生的种种事业跟功德。那实际上，佛陀本身早在无量劫以前已经成就佛道。那为了导驾慈航，广度众生，他必须要在这个世界上重新实现出他的种种的事业跟功德。
Therefore, he just benefit and he created us ordinary sentient beings. So he turned the wheel of Dharma.
那为了广度众生，为了利乐我们这些众生有情呢，为了要演示这个弘法度生的事业，所以他转动了这个法轮，就是为我们众生宣说佛法的要义。
So he just turned the teachings for a capacity of all sentient beings. We usually say 3 times he turned the wheel of Dharma.
那为了要度化各种不同众生的根器，为了学生众生根器而演说种种不同的妙法，所以佛陀总共转动了3次的法轮，3转法轮。
So the first return of teachings for noble truth. These are the first. He just says we have a suffering. We have suffering, but we don't know. If we know that everyone knows that we have suffering, but he just told us how to turn from this samsara or suffering.
那佛陀初转法轮所说的就是苦集灭道的四圣谛的这个原始佛教或者是基础的佛教的法要。那所谓的，因为知苦才能够了苦脱苦，所以佛陀说，先宣说苦是世间的实相。然后知道苦的原因之后，然后有这个脱苦之道，然后修持了离苦之道之后，就能够证得离苦得乐的永久的圆满佛性。所以这样的话，就是知苦了苦，就是四圣谛的主要的核心内容。
So he gave in the many examples. The three categories of sufferings: sufferings which sufferings of change, condition of suffering. All these sufferings we have, the Buddha told us all these categories of sufferings bound by samsara.
那主要的佛有说所谓的三种苦，那世间种种千种万种的苦都归纳可以归纳为三种：苦苦、坏苦跟辛苦。所以众生的苦绝不会离开这三个苦苦、坏苦跟辛苦。那苦苦、坏苦跟辛苦是众生或者是轮回界的苦的根本的分类。
So not only just he introduced us we have a suffering or there's no way to free from this suffering, but he told us the causes of suffering. He says that we have to know we have sufferings and we have to know causation of suffering.
那不是说佛陀宣说的苦的实相都是没有处理苦的方法，不是这样子的。那佛陀除了宣说苦的实相的时候，才告诉我们说苦有它的原因，这是第二个集。那知道了苦的原因之后，还有灭苦之道，就是灭。然后实修灭苦之道，就会证得离苦得乐的果证，那个就是道，苦集灭，那个就是灭。所以苦集灭道所有的方法，离苦得乐的方法都完全的记住在其中。
So, in order to bind the causation of the sufferings, then Buddha told us many teachings according individual's capacity.
所以为了要实证实修离苦得乐之道，佛陀就是因为根据众生不同种种根器呢，宣说种种不同的法门。
So he says essential of the truth of essential. This truth of essential is if we practice Dharma and if we train our mind, there's a way to free from suffering.
然后苦集灭道，最后是道。如果我们实修离苦得乐之道，实修种种佛法的技巧跟方面的话，那很肯定的，我们就是能够摆脱苦的困扰，然后永久的，真能够真的涅槃的安乐，永远的能够得到离苦得乐的这个果证。
So, in order to reach the third level of cessation of sufferings, he showing the path to achieve enlightenment. This path is different levels of path. As I mentioned before, the short term is like Dzogchen teachings, and the high levels of Mahamudra teachings. All these are the something like a high level, but it's defined individuals. If really we have such a capacity of to practice this, there is a quick way and the slow way and the middle way. There's many ways in order to reach the level of liberation or cessation as well.
然后第三个就是灭，灭就是你烦恼熄灭之后的这个涅槃的境界。那为了要趋向灭的这个境界呢，有种种的道可以让我们去修。所以佛就根据众生的根器接受不同的道就是道路或者修行的方法跟迹象。那直接的道路最简短的道路就是所谓最高尚的法门，就是大手印大圆满这一些。当然除了这些高阶的教法之外，还有一些比较中等的，还有更比较低下的法。那总而言之，所有的法都趋向于灭苦之道，就是灭跟道，第三谛跟第四谛。
So this today we are teaching these teachings is the one of the path. It's a faster path to achieve enlightenment. This teaching.
今天的这个中原心之明点，这个宝武一宝的心学、心要果学，这个是续主道，这是最快的道路的这个心要解。
Everyone needs to realize the cessation of the suffering and achieve enlightenment. So there is no every Buddha, as I mentioned before, he turned the dharmas according to individual's mind. There is no any different blessing or different something like that. But the different is a way to achieve this kind of things. So the Mahayana, Hinayana, all the yanas are same as Buddha's teaching, but there is a different quality of the fast or slow or something.
那总之，我们每个人知道了这个四谛法之后，我们就要去实证，实修这个灭苦之道，就是灭跟道、灭谛跟道谛的这个核心的这个内容。那不管怎么样都好，所以有说法有小乘、大乘跟金刚乘的分别。那什么叫这个乘的分别？就是说， 基本上佛说的加持，佛说的教法的核心内容是没有任何的特别。可是这个道，因为路有快有慢，所以就成佛跟正悟的叙述时间点而言呢，有快慢的不同，所以快和慢的时间的上的差别，就造成了小乘、大乘乃至西方乘的种种的千差万别。
So Guru Padma Sangbawa, he just said the greater perfection, the Dzogchen is the teaching of all the degenerate beings. Only these degenerate beings, their mind is wide than before. So in order to achieve the enlightenment, it is such as a busy day. The Dzogchen teaching is the best.
那如巴巴僧巴瓦莲花生大师曾经说过，在这末法时代，人心非常的狂野难寻，难寻难调难度，所以最好的法门，在这个忙忙碌碌的、非常的烦恼炽盛的时代，最好的法门就是大圆满。
So also he professed that during the time of degenerate, he says, when arrow birds fly to the sky, that time Dzogchen teachings allowed to teach other sentient beings who really wanted to practice.
在这个末法浊世的时代，莲花生大师也曾经预言，曾经受记说，当铁鸟飞空，就是飞机在天上飞的时候，大圆满的教法会到处开花结果，去把这个佛陀的核心心要界带给需要的众生。
So we got this opportunity. It's not just the sudden or accidentally to meet such as a great teachings. We have accumulated in our life and life. We produce many life, thousands of lives. We accumulated merits in order to reach that receiving the teachings and rely on such as our greater masters.
那我们今天有缘在那边能够得到合法无依法的这个非常珍贵的教授。但不是偶然，就意外间就突然间这样发生的。那么在座的各位肯定是很多数不清的每一个千世的转世以来，到今天累积了很多的福德资粮，才有缘遇到这个具德的上师，然后才有缘听到，然后亲自听闻到、接受到这样的殊胜难得的珍贵的法教。
So today I'm going to, just as I mentioned before, we more emphasis on the preliminary these teachings. Then hopefully one day you get in the great master and receiving more about Dzogchen teachings. And before you that, you more practice in preliminary teachings.
今天因为时间的关系，我们主要注重也是前行法的修持，先把这个基础功先打好，然后基础功打好之后，各位有缘的话。遇到一些具德上师的话，从来没接受灌顶跟大圆满的教法，那时候就自然的水到渠成，一切圆满。
So there is two things always you keep your mind: the Tekana Buddhista and devotion your Guru Master or practicing Guru Yoga as well. If you have these two things, then you will never losing your path to enlightenment, or you will never lose your path.
那人们就说有两个要点，今天很多讲都必须要把它带回家。第一个要点就是说，你要广发利他的福心，上求佛道，下化众生。第一个要点。第二个要点，你一定要心上师瑜伽，你必须要对你自己的根本上师有这个清净心跟虔诚心。如果这个就是所谓的上师瑜伽，上师三明法。所以如果你有殊胜针对福心，第二有这个上师瑜伽获得成就的话，这两点。那你就不会失去这个佛法修正之道，你就会偏离佛法的正轨。
So Dzogchen teaching is it's difficult to understand by only words or studying. This is coming from result of your strongly fed towards on your guru masters.
那个大圆满的法教是不可思议的、不可言全的，也就是不能够通过头脑的去思维。去语言文字去了解、去体证，那大圆满的核心跟精要，唯有通过你对上师的虔诚心、信心，才能够直接证入那个大圆满的境界。
If you have all these things and then you practice Dzogchen, definitely one day you can get confident your mind within your mind. On the other hand, it's really there's no any expression words of the categories of your realization of natural mind.
那这些，当你这前期的准备功夫都打好，基础功打好之后，有一天你的心性成熟的时候，你自然就会理解、了悟到大圆满的境界是何等的不可思议，不可以语言文字来描述它。这种滋味，有一天你始终会了解。
So, Mighty, you are like we are here in Khenpo Rinpoche is my Dharma friend, and is also disciple of Khenchen Jigme Phuntsok, and he hold two lineage, the Garjo and Nyingma. The Garjo and Nyingma usually there is no any differentiate. All practice in Dzogchen Mahamudra teachings are main the practice and rely to Guru Padma Sambhava. So there is no any different. So we are very fortunate to such as your great masters Khenchen Rinpoche Tsewang. And so continually take the this devotion, and hopefully you study hardly in the future as much as you can.
那今天之位跟各位见面，就是因为我们的开罗慈纳的一些所安排所建议的这一场殊胜的法会。那我们都知道说，天正慈纳的其实是法友道友。一般而言呢，就是慈纳的其实有两个传承，一个是噶举白教，一个是尼玛红教。那一般来说，噶举跟尼玛的传承都是一样的同等的。最主要的最精要的句话，一个是大圆满，一个是大手印。就这两点而言，完全是无二无别的，就是关于我们自心本性的修正，跟这个对莲花生大师的虔诚心，跟这上师瑜伽。所以，请各位要对自己的上师这个慈纳人也有具足完全的清净心跟这个虔诚心。那实修上师瑜伽，这样的话，希望各位在这个佛道上能够精进用功的去修持，不乐真上圆正这个诸法的心要。
The great Milarepa is the our main the holder lineage. The great Milarepa all studied all Dzogchen and teachings, and he also mentioned in his realm and studied all these two Dzogchen and Chachin Mahamudras, and he achieved an enlightenment within his life. The great Milarepa is a great example of within the life achieve enlightenment.
那我们的这个大成就者，弥勒日巴一生成就的这个尊者，弥勒日巴在道课里面很清楚的说明说，他也是实修圆正大圆满的心要而得到寄生成就的。所以从这弥勒日巴他举开的这个祖师大德的例子典范当中，可以发现说，这个大圆满的大师是完全一样的。
So that's why the Buddhas taught many different teachings. So this is just a short introduction of the Dzogchen teaching and explanation of the main text as well.
是诸佛就根据不同众生不同根器而演说种种的妙法。刚刚就是跟这各位简单的介绍什么叫做大圆满，以及这一句话这个句子的这个内容。
So when persons, all the categories, all include Buddha's teachings, are include this short teachings, and then he just call in the advice. Advice means speed instructions, include this short text and given to the hard disciples who really put the teachings in practice.
所以众生的根器无量无边，那这个佛法的意义也深广不可思议。但是所有实修的口诀，它的秘密，它的诀窍，都包含在这个作品当中，这个心要戒里面，心要明里面。然后呢，他把法王是告诉主人说，他把这个心要明点教给各位，告诉各位，让各位可以根据这个口诀去实修，去实证。
So these masters are just this is the promise to writing the text. So the reason to promise writing the text is there showing the inner knowledge to knowing the meanings of text, and also those bodhisattvas and bodhisattva beings, they promise they never break their promise. So just in order to accomplish their promise, so this we call a promise And another is these texts also their purpose, some purpose. So when we read this, we understand of the meaning of the text, and then there's also a purpose. The purpose means the purpose relating to the author's purpose. Purpose, of course, the benefit for other sentient beings.
所以这个就是这个诸佛菩萨是永远不会违背自己所做过的愿力、誓句跟他的承诺的。所以在这边，这个作者也就是这个如意宝法王，就是告诉我们说，他的愿力、他的这个发愿、他的承诺，就是各位通过对这个心要见言的明点的这种认识跟阅读跟这个参悟，那能够进入佛法大海的核心，那借此的话就获得解脱的实修的这个口诀。然后目的不外就是让众生离苦得乐，究竟脱离轮回，然后得证这个涅槃的佛果。所以这边就是作者把他的心里面的话，也是他所做的承诺，他的愿力以及他撰写这部作品的这个目的都清清楚楚的，先跟这个我们讲清楚。
So note this for the actual teaching, the beginning of the actual teaching. So in order to explanation of in order to know when the actual teachings, first talk about how do we contemplate, how can we practice, and then the talk about the obstacles of the way to practice, and some settings we need in order to practice, and the actual teachings.
所以我们现在开始进入这个中严心之明点的正行的部分，正行的内容。在这之前，就是第3段会告诉我们如何去观修，应该要修些什么。然后过后会告诉我们说修行的障碍在哪里。然后过后会告诉我们修行的时候我们需要哪一些东西来帮助我们。
So first there's a Tendrajin la Chubikarat and Dola Shajam Tipampir. These two talk about renunciation. Become attached to this life, you will lose your fortunate connection to the Dharma. By indulging your desire again and again, your craving will only increase.
这个第3段的前2行，第一个就是说贪着先是无法缘，屡想欲乐增贪心。比如说，如果你继续的贪染，对这次的享受、荣华富贵等等感官的欲乐，一直贪着而执取的话，那你是没有心去修持这个佛法的。也就是说，你不会生出心理对人的心理不会有。
So as I mentioned before, here the renunciation is, of course, it seems difficult, but the meaning of the renunciation is just whatever you do, whatever you practice, and do not attach. When you prostration or you're doing something about religious, practice, do not dedicate for yourself. Do not just motivate it for achieving certain things, worldly things.
那这出离心看起来好像很难做到，但实际上它的意义、它的定义非常的简单，非常的清楚。比如说，不管我们做什么，我们顶礼诸佛也好，打坐禅修也好，做很多的好事、善事都好，那目的千万不要只是为了自己，不要为求世间的福报，而要把这个功德回向给一切众生，帮助他们、利乐他们，使他们解脱成佛。你拥有这样的发心的话，不为世间法，不为自己的安乐而发心的话，这个就是真正的佛法的出离心。
If you have attached to this life, means if you dedicate or if you motivate whatever you do, something achieving your wishes for certain things, and even you recite certain mantras in order to get fulfill your wishes. these kind of motivations, if you have, that means you attach this life. So there's no. This is losing the fortunate to practice in Dharma. So this is not a real practitioner. So if you separate this attachment, if you are free from the attachment of this life, of course we have a certain attachment, but should be attached for the benefit of other sentient beings. And if you have this kind of things, then you really behind or beyond of renunciation.
那么呢，一般上我们对世间的种种的利乐都有所知趣，有所执着。所以，如果你念咒语，你做功课，那目的是为了回向给这一生变得更好，这一次的某些希望能够达成，能够心想事成，世间的福报的话，那你就失去了这个出离心。这边是这样讲的。所以，那你就失去了你获得世间福报的同时，也失去了佛法的这个什么佛法的精要。所以这样讲，这样的回向是不具足处理性的，不符合佛法的基础的内容的。所以我们回向的时候，我们做功课也好，做佛法的修持、做善事也好，目的都是不是为自己，而是为了利乐一切众生的解脱跟证悟而发心，这个才是真正的佛法的处理性。
So, of course, we just we have to know everything. There's no any value to this. It seems a value, but we have to know everything's just temporary things. So that's not means you cannot do it on your business in order to live these certain things. We must do or earn something, achieve a certain short life in this life. But too much attached, too much you involve or doing the worldly things, then the contentment never will come to our mind.
那么这个并不是说我们知道说这世界上的一切都没有具足究竟的利益跟这个实质的内容，一切都是镜花水月，一切是暂时的。那我们现在所有的一切都是不能够带走的，都是虚幻的、了不可得的。但是这并不意味着你就必须要放弃你的工作，什么都不做。可是虽然这个人生很短，可是为了谋求我们的职业，我们要养家，这一次的短暂利益，我们还是要努力的去工作，努力去赚钱的，并不是说你抛夫弃子什么都不要，不是这个意思。但是我们在做这些的同时，我们必须要知道说，这些东西都是如梦幻的，如镜花水月一般了不可得的，所以不可以执着它。主要是不要卡在其中，不要执着于其中，那就是所谓的助力性。
So if we involve only the certain things, we attach reputation, aim, praise, or we attach these certain things, there's no way to realize our natural mind, or there's no way to liberate our mind.
那如果你执着一大堆的世间的名闻利养功德别人对你的赞叹等这些世间发疯的话，那你永远没有机会跟这个契机或者机缘去了悟到你的自性本性，永远不知道自己到底是谁。
That's why if we practice more renunciation and impermanent, that not means just like a pessimistic or something like bring the self within mind. This, if we know these kind of values, then there's not happened today. You see many people, some even though they are rich or famous, it doesn't matter. They commit suicide themselves because they don't know the values of these certain things. So if we really know we impermanent renunciation, these kind of values, qualities, then never happen to this life.
那当我们了解这个所谓的出离心跟无常的道理之中，并不是每天都不要去很苦瓜脸，这个世界很悲哀、很糟糕，就变成自己得到忧郁症这样子，不是的。那如果你没有执着，要投给他，更能够自由洒脱一点。因为他们的自由嘛，对不对？那不像是世界上有些人很有钱，因为他们执着以贪婪他们的财富，到最后自杀，患忧郁症走掉死掉了。所以可见你不执着的意思就是你在当中得到自由跟解脱，而不是以每天都是愁眉苦脸的。
So that's why it says just like drink the salt water. if you drink salt waters, you wish, let's say, you desire drink the again and again rather than free from your thirsty.
那世间的种种的欲乐跟享受，就好像喝盐水一样，你喝盐水就越喝越渴，越喝越渴就不能够止渴，所以不要喝盐水。
So the Longchen Ramjam, he says, if who really indulge only the certain these worldly things, and if they don't know of the values of these really qualified of Buddha's teachings, and they indulge in only the certain worldly things, there's no way to practice in Dharma, and there's no way to achieve enlightenment.
龙先生这样，龙心发生者说，如果你只是一心一意追求世间种种享用、受用跟这个荣华富贵的话，你没有时间，你没有机会去了悟到你的自心得性，你永远没有时间去追求真正的佛法，然后以佛法来获得这一世乃至未来世的成就和结果。
So there are many great masters emphasize on the renunciations. So it seems difficult, but it's really we practice not it's difficult.
那很多的大师、大德人都告诉我们说，处理性多么的重要。那听起来好像很难做到，实际上如果你真的去做的话，没有那么难。
So the contentment or satisfied. So if we practice in the renunciation, the contentment is come automatically within our mind. If we have a contentment in our mind, then no matter we have 1,000, millions, or billions, we have within the contentment, then it doesn't matter we have or don't have. No matter we always have such as a priceless wealth we have. That's called is contentment.
所以，如果你修的处理性有成就的话，你就会怎么样？你就会知足常乐。所以，不管你有几百万还是几百块钱，不管你有钱还是没有钱，你就知道你内在的这个处理性就是最丰盛的泉源，你就是全世界上最有资源的那个大富翁，就是你的这个处理性，所以你永远不会缺乏任何东西。对，所以处理性的这个果德就是你知足常乐，永远会乐在其中。
That's why he says, and never. Zinbi timil nyiti jakton malam nyoton ravi, and you will never find the satisfactions, wealth, happiness, fame, and praise to pursue them like a buying and selling in a dream.
这里告诉我们说，这个文本是这样写的：利乐称欲求不得，如梦买卖故舍弃。
So when we have a dream, sometimes we have certain things dream. We are become rich, or we have something good, met good persons. Everything we have a dream. No matter when we wake up, there's nothing left.
比如说你做梦，你梦到的时候，你梦见你变成了富翁啊，你遇到了某人啊，你做了一笔大买卖，可是醒来的时候都是空空如也，什么都没有了，就这样假的。
So the sutra said the magicians they transform their like an elephant or horse. There is no matter we can see this elephant and horse, but in reality the magician created it. There is not any real exist.
你知道这个，所以很多大师告诉我们，他魔术师他变魔术嘛，他把大象嘛变出来，你看到好像是真的，可是是假的，通通都是魔术而已。
So the way of Bodhisattva, the way of Bodhisattva also says the children they plant the scent of castles. When they feel the castles, they cry or they are sad. So such as worldly things like this.
这个《入菩萨行》里面有说，那孩子去海边玩耍的时候，他用沙建造那个城堡堡垒，可是海浪一吹来，风一吹，那个堡垒就消失掉，他就会哭，因为他以为这个城堡是假的。他也知道有实相告诉我们说，城堡是由沙所建成的，虚幻的，暂时。
So we attach this praise and the fame and the reputations just as our mind as a child.
那如果你追求，那你贪婪执着的是现实的名闻利养，然后权力地位的话，那你在沙中做这个空中楼阁，那是了不可的虚幻的短暂。
That's why he says, let's go of such concern.
那就是修来过，就是完全放下这些执着法，完全放下这些贪婪执取法。
So, if we have such as wealthy, or if we have these kind of things, then also great master Jati Ngochitome, he also mentioned that Sagda Zhong Da Labi Dungar made Choshi Dan de Wuriang Jurshi Dan. That means first we keep the things and then protect, and then we have a concern or worry of losing the thing, and then if we have a contentment, or if we have a satisfactions, we don't have such a sufferings of the losing or protecting or all this concern. That's why if you have contentment, whether you are poor or your mind will be rich.
所以这过去中美大师就告诉我们说，你追求世界的文化福慧、名闻利养的话，你有3个担心。第一个，你担心自己到底有没有这个东西，你有的东西你才会担心。然后第二点，你有了这个东西之后，你要保存这个东西，你害怕它会失去。第三，你失去这个东西的时候，你也会忧愁苦恼。所以这3种忧愁你都会有。可是如果你有出离心，你能够知足常乐，乐在其中的话，就不管你有钱没有钱，你心里面就是这个非常富足的、丰盛的，永远不会缺乏任何的不满足。
That's why one of the great masters, Pater Rinpoche, also he emphasizes on the contentment or renunciations. He says if we have things, like a tea box. If we have a tea box, we have a suffering also same as big as a tea box.
那么呢，这个巴楚人就是说过，你的拥有的东西有多大，你的忧愁就跟这个东西的体积一样大。如果你的执取心好，你这个茶香放茶的盒子，你对这个有执着的话，那你的担忧、你的这个忧虑就跟这个茶盒和茶香一样。
That's why we have to know these kind of things, and then we practice. As I mentioned before, whatever we doing, just check your mind before you doing or while your action, engaging the actions as well. So it's very important again and again examine our mind. What kind of our mind endures in such circumstances. So if you are just motivated for this life, just you change your mind and for the sentient being or something like that. This is a real renunciation.
所以不管我们做什么，在做那样的事情之前，正在做那样的事情的时候，你要时时刻检验你自己的发心跟这个动机。如果你的发心的动机是自私自利，为这一世的福乐而有的话，那你要赶快把它调整过来，就调整自己的念头跟这个心态。这个时候就立刻要把它转化为出离心、知足常乐的心，是为了要利乐一切众生而修持佛法，而做好事善事。不要为了自己，那这个就是真正的出离心跟这个满足的乐在其中，知足常乐的心。
So after we have these kind of things, then the master or teacher is very important, as I mentioned before. So here talk about what is kind of teachers we need, and the teacher is the source of all quality and knowledge here. And the benefit of relying on the teacher or great masters, and the quality of the teachers, and how do we rely or how do we rely to the teacher. So this we will talk about the spiritual master.
那当有了这些出离心、知足常乐之心之后，下一步我们就要去追寻名师，或者找一个具德上师来做我们的依止。那因为具德上师是我们的一切的功德、智慧跟成就的泉源，然后没有一个具德上师的话，我们无法获得 修行上的成就跟获得，所以我们必须要一个具德上师来做我们的这个根本的皈依。那具德上师的功德是怎么样的？怎样去找一个真正的根本上师呢？然后获得根本上师的指导跟诀窍指引之后，我们又会获得怎样的果德等等，这些都会在这个心要明显当中很清楚的一步一步的跟各位说明。
So, especially practicing Dzogchen teachings or Mahamudra or whatever, the master is very important. The master's self important, and we searching the master is very important. Before we receive the certain special initiation or empowerment, it's very important to examine their qualified or what is lineage or what kind of persons they have. These kind of things very important before we rely to these great masters.
那特别是那些比较高阶的教法，比如说大圆满大水这些，特别是金刚乘的行者，以此上师是重要的，非常重要，最重要的。正因为上师是举足轻重的，所以我们在接受某某灌顶、某某教法之前，我们先要检验这个上师有没有所谓的传承，具不具足这样的资格跟条件跟资历去教导我们去做我们的老师或者是上师。所以这一点也去检验这个上师的背景，他是不是具德上师，他有没有这样的资格跟条件，有没有这样的传承，是非常非常重要的。
So here, as a practitioner who not indulge in this worldly and who practice in the realizations, those people are very important to rely on the great master or teachers. So here just talk about the teachers in order to interest them in order to rely on such as a great master.
所以你具足了这个出离心，具足了不贪婪于世间诸法，然后有这个追求处世间法的娱乐，这样的话你就必须要具的善知识，具的上师。所以这边说具有法相善知识，三起一品所愿者，这样的话我们在佛法的修持上才能够事半功倍，得心应手，然后见智的真善，直至完成了这个佛道上的证悟。
So the benefit of the teachers here says, Kangla tin yundan sompe ni kyun tha da jang de trupshit ba. But rely on the Jain and qualified spiritual teachers, your virtuous qualities will develop and increase.
这边所说的这个依止善知识，依止的具德上师有什么功德呢？就这边说，所依止者真功德，远离一切罪过患。
So these who really qualified teachers is really great, and it's very it's very precious and very important.
所以依止上师所获得的功德这一点而言呢，是非常的扮演举足轻重的角色，同时也是非常的重要的。
If we rely on such as these teachers, then we accumulate merits, and that's a great beneficial for our practice.
依止正确的善知识，真正的具德上师的话，你的功德就会无量无止的增长，你就会获得无量无德的福报和两种质量上的成就。
And we receiving the blessing, the real blessing of wisdom of the teachers.
那你也得到了这个上师智慧的意的加持。
So the Vinaya Sutra says there is some like the Chandala. Chandala is one of the good tree, right? So the good smell as well. So if the ordinary tree is put in the jungle of Chandala, the ordinary tree or wood will sooner or later has a good smell. So those who rely on the great master or teachers, sooner or later they will receive the great qualities as a teacher.
比那年经里面有提出告诉我们说，丹丹就是旃檀檀香的一种。那种木呢，森林里面的木，只要它靠近这个旃檀的话，它这个木块或者木质也自然会散发出这个旃檀的味道，能够熏染。所以你能够熏习，你跟一个居德上师常常在一起， 能够在他坐下学习，然后不断的学习又学习自己的话，这样你自己的功德界相也能跟这个上师一样的，非常的怎么说，以获得他的加持，你的香气，你的这个气味是跟这个旃檀一样的，因为你是跟旃檀在一起，就是三方是旃檀的芬芳，那同理的，如果你多跟你上师在一起的话，也会获得上师同等的获得功德。
So also the sutra mentioned that bhikshus and what's that, the Nyantu Sukadava, right? So all these disciples rely on the teachers in order to masters in order to receive in something like that. So in order to antidote of sufferings of mind, it's very important to rely on good teacher.
所以经典上有说，这个比丘、比丘尼等等四众。是在家出家的四众，因为我想因为等等这些，如果要停止新的苦恼，那我必须要跟随一个具德的善知识，一个具德的上师来依止他，再来做下的学习，这样才能够真正的离苦得乐。
Others, the Maitreya also he said that all the kindness and compassion, all these are the things. Result of the great teachers. The teacher is a source of all compassion and wisdom.
那这个弥勒菩萨也说过，那我们的善知识、具德上师是一切慈悲心跟我们的智慧的泉源，所以我们的慈悲心的升起，我们智慧的现前，那无不都是上师的加持里所导致而有的。
The source of virtues, every virtues.
一切善德的泉源，也就是我们的具德上师。
Then there says Sai Nyangpo, Sai Nyangpo Sutra also said that if you servants as a great masters or teachers, if you receiving the teachers, if you serve as a teacher, this merit is inconceivable. It's boundless. There is some great merits.
那地藏王菩萨本愿经里面有说明，如果你服侍上师、供养上师、敬礼上师，对上师有亲近观的话，那你所获得的功德跟福报是不可思议、无量无尽的。
That's why when we compare with the masters and the Buddha, there is no difference as qualities, but the difference is a kindness for us. The thousands of Buddhas, we not got opportunity to meet them or fortunate in life, but today the masters is an emanation of this the Lord Buddha.
那么呢，就功德而言，上师跟诸佛的功德是同等的，但对慈悲心而言，上师来的比诸佛更为慈悲，因为上师就出现在你的面前，历历在目，为你实现佛法的资料，他就是佛陀的化身。那虽然这一节我们说衔接1000位佛出生出世，可是1000位佛我们根本没有经历到，一尊都没有。可是上师就是1000位佛的代表，他就出现在我们面前，所以这个时候我们要赶快依止上师，再要坐下学习，那这样我们就自然就会得到衔接千佛的同等的价值。
So if really we need to qualify or in order to qualify skills and knowledge, then we rely to the great masters who have qualified.
所以我们要获得佛法的功德和受用和成就的话，自然我们必须要依止有功德、有智慧、有成就的上师来作为我们的善知识。
One of the is Bongbo Gopa, the Tree Sutra. The Tree Sutra also mentioned that when we go to the Bodhisattva way, we rely on the great masters, and when we realize the eco phenomena, we should rely on the great master or teachers, and the teachers as our God, He showing us path to enlightenment. And all the, as I mentioned before, qualified or virtues, everything is defined the great masters, full qualified teacher.
那么这三运经里面有说明说，如果我们要修持菩萨道的话，我们还是就是要必须依止善知识，具德根本上师。如果我们要正的法性平等不二的这个境界的话，我们还是需要一个具德上师， 善知识来作为我们的依止。如果我们要证得一切的果德、福德、智慧跟成就的话，和解脱的话，我们还是要需要一个同样的有果证、有智慧、有解脱的就是上师来作为我们的依止。无论一切都好，我们都需要一个具的上师来作为我们的依止跟典范。
So our great master or guru is at the moment we are just wandering in the darkness of samsara. The great master is only the giving us lead us to from this within the samsara, and he showing the path. And we are just we are in the center of darkness of samsara. The teacher has only the light to us.
那我们就好像卡在这轮回世界中的黑暗、无明黑暗的众生，看不清楚方向，不知道何去何从，在这个三界轮回的黑暗中彷徨流浪、流连失所，非常的忧愁苦恼。可是上师就好像光明一样，他为我们黑暗的世界带来了无比的光明。上师就是我们追寻的那道光，那个光明。上师为我们的轮回的充满黑暗的世界注入了无比的清凉的光明的希望。
He only can illuminate our darkness from the samsara. The qualified teachers only can illuminate or delude our samsara.
唯有具德的上师跟善知识能够把我们的心中无明的遗失跟黑暗给驱除掉，因为他们就是我们的光明。
So if we relate to this great master, then automatically accumulate these two categories of merits, the wisdom and the wisdom and the others. Merit is accumulated.
如果一直正确的大的善知识跟着上师的话，那我们就自然会获得两种质量，福慧就是福报跟智慧两种质量的累积，自然就水到渠成，不求自得。
Then also mentioned in the sutra, the thousands of Buddhas offering within the thousands of eons. But you offering the one single part of the Guru Masters, that is much more stronger than merit.
那如果在经里面也有说明说，你如果以1000贤劫千佛的座下，你供养1000次的话，不如你在你上师面前供养1次。
So these merits are countless, and there is no any kind. That's why these qualified teachers are rely and even the offering that very different.
所以呢，这个供养顶礼跟追随上师的功德是不可思议、无量无边的。所以可见这个找到一个具德的上师跟善知识，是在我们的修行过程当中是何等的重要和珍贵。
Even you don't have any wealth or the values in your mind, just visualize offering towards the Guru Master's accumulation great merit.
即便你没有一个实质的物品去供养，可是在你心中你观想出种种的殊妙的贡品去供给自己上师，也会获得同样不可思议、无量无边的这种功德。
So the great masters who qualified teachers, if you practice in a Guru Yoga or within the 5 day or 1 week, that your mind will be liberated.
所以我们虔诚的一心不乱的实修上师瑜伽，那在5天或者1个星期里面实修上师瑜伽，学修做这上师瑜伽上师相应法的功课的话，你就会心开意解，获得解脱和自由。
That's why here says, rely on the such as great master teachers, your virtuous qualities will develop and increase, and all your faults and fallings will be cast away. That means we even imagine, revisit your master, or even your think moment your master's kind. That's alone dispel your such a delusions thought.
那这个是第一句所说的所依执者真功德，你的福慧两种资粮两种功德就自然获得成就。然后第二句下来是远离一切罪过患，也就是依止具得上师善知识的话，你的一切的过患、你的罪业、你的过失都会被净化的一尘不染。所以只要单单想到上师是多么的慈悲，多么的有加持的话，就能够灭尽或者净化你所有的染污烦恼的途径。所以这种功德是何等的不可思议。
So there's many description of many qualified or beneficial of relate to the master. So these certain things I want to explain because the tradition of the teachings. We have to know what kind of teachers we need, what beneficial of the relying on such great teachers. So these are the qualified or benefit of teacher.
所以怎么样找到一个真正具德的善知识跟真的上师，以及依止具德善知识跟上师之后呢，会获得怎么样的这种功德跟果报？这个是传统一般宣说上师的时候，宣说上师重要性的法里面，传统上都必须要跟各位说明的。所以这边继续一一的为各位讲解，什么叫做具德上师？追寻依止具德上师所会获得怎么样的果德跟福报？这所以在这里一一的跟各位说明了。
So there is many stories when you study the great words of my perfect teachers. There are Teloba, Naloba, and Malariba. Many stories of how to relate to teacher, how to receive in the teaching. There are many stories. I don't need to explain all the detail here. So this is the just roughly explained to you. So one of the Pinching Lungchen Ramjen, he is the great master of Nyingmaba traditionally. He says when he finish his life, that means he have something obstacles in his life. But Gamaraja is one of his masters. He offering to 3 times to the Gamaraja, everything to offer him. The result, these virtues, then he extended his life. So the masters are there are many examples of merits to offering to the the qualified teacher. Kumaraja. Yeah, Kumaraja is teacher of Phuntsok.
那么呢，我们在这个八祖仁波切的普贤上师言教里面有说，如果你找到，然后一直追寻找到这个具德上师大善知识的话，你会获得怎么样的果报？你的修行获得怎么样的加持等等这些。特别是在这个电罗巴、纳罗巴、马尔巴、密勒日巴的这个噶举派的祖师里面的传记，你看到很多的典范跟很多的小故事。龙钦巴智者就告诉我们说，当他有障碍的时候，当他有障碍出现在生命当中，他就向他的上师公摩拉赞祈祷。他一祈祷的时候，他障碍就消失不见了，然后还获得长寿的种种事业上的、修行上的正量跟这个成就。所以，当你有障碍，你生命中有麻烦、有困难的时候，你要想到上师的恩德跟加持，自然的话就会消灾解难，你的修行也会平步青云，得心应手。所以，上师的加持、上师相应法是非常非常重要的。
So no matter what we are prayer to the Jagini protector, the Dharma protector, personal deity or Jagini, all the conclude. Great master or guru is the everything. Guru is the one of your personality. Guru is your protector. Guru is your Jagini. All these are included the guru or master. That's why even you practice guru yogas one single times, as I mentioned before, same as equal merits as 1,000 of Buddhas, 1,000 of Jaginis reciting the same time.
所以我们有时候像本尊祈愿。比如说，我们修空行，我们修永护、修护法，你要知道，但是你要知道，上师都居住一切的本尊、一切的空行、一切的护法的功德跟加持在其中。所以就是经典里面有说，你向上师祈祷一次，等同你向所有的本尊、所有的空行护法祈祷1000次那么多。因为他上师这个就代表了一切的这个诸佛菩萨。诸本尊、诸空行、诸护法的精要， 跟他的功德都完全的圆满融摄于其中。
So that's why we talk about these things. Not rely on the Jigme qualified spiritual teacher. So if those we just another talk if the wrong teachers if rely on the wrong teachers or masters, then you will lead to wrong directions.
所以跟随错误的上师，邪师或者是不具德的上师的话，也就是隐盲度嘛，就是走错路，你就会步入歧途，往错误的方向走去，自然就不会达到你修行的目标。
That's why it's very, very important before they rely on the great masters. We examine and you can examine yourself and you can ask others, and that's why the great master is very important and very dangerous.
所以呢，在还没有依止一个上师某上师，在还没有去听他的法教之前，或者参加的灌顶法会之前，你要先检验一下这个上师的背景是什么。你可以自己去查，也可以问别人，然后去探寻一下这个人有没有传承，是不是一个具体的上师。所以总的而言，上师是很重要的，搞不好也是很危险的一些事情。所以既重要又危险。选对了就是得到很多的受用，选错了就会误入歧途，有很多的危险性存在。所以既重要又危险，各位要三思而后行。
So one of the great master Jigme Lama, he mentioned in the Venerable that's quality of the treasures. He said that those who lack of bodhisattva or qualified teachers, then it's just like a blind person who lead the blind people. Without eyes, the leader also without eyes, they will lead them. Sooner or later, they will feel from the difficult things.
那个吉米巴在这个功德海上中有说，那跟随一个没有功德、没有戒律、没有见地的错的上师，就是以盲度嘛。你自己眼睛瞎，你也跟这个瞎子走，到最后就会跌倒，就会跌入深山悬崖里面去，那么那是后悔莫及，永远不会达到你要去的方向。所以千千万万非常重要的，找上师很重要，找对的上师更重要。
These great masters, Kinchen Ramjam also said, those who has the negative emotions more than as positive emotions. I mean negative actions more than positive actions, virtuous things, and they indulge in the worldly things. And those who are breaking the samaya, and those who lost the perceptions, and the lack of compassion and lack of wisdom, and the disqualities teachers, and the lazies, and all these kind of persons, we shouldn't rely as a teacher.
龙先帮尊者告诉我们说，有几个要点要注意的。这些人如果有这样的特质的话，就千万不要以他们作为我们的老师。第一个就是他们的烦恼多过他们的功德；第二，他们对世间法的追求多过对出世间法的追求；第三个，他们是破损三业业界，不守戒律的，戒律不干净的。那么就是还有就是他们的智慧跟慈悲都不比你好，都没有什么智慧，也没有什么慈悲。然后最后一个是非常懒惰，懈怠，不喜欢修行的，不精进用功的，当然也不要以他们为老师。
So those who are only concerned the worldly things and interested into worldly things, and these are they no matter how many disciples there, 1,000 millions, these should be burned as filthy of dirty things, as I mentioned the Longxingban.
所以看一个老师，不管他的弟子上千上万那么多，可是他注重世间的功德能力、世间法，讲来讲去就是世间法的话，这个老师就好像那个垃圾一样，肮脏东西一样，越快把它丢掉越好，不要收集这些人。
So then the qualified teachers, so those who peaceful one of the Durdigen is a decoration of sutras, and also mentioned that Yundan Zonji Shinin Tamba Shejan Yerjiba Yundan Zonji Helper Longushi. Those who qualified of subject or teachings, and then they tame on their mind, and they have a full compassion and wisdom, and realize the nature of mind, and then they don't care themselves, they care in the others. The other first, that means they have a bodhisattva, a bodhisattva, and these teachers, no matter they are far from your distance, we have to rely.
那么呢，也有几点里面说，心性调和柔顺，以建立光明之相者，然后注重他人多过注重自身者，对他所演讲的法要跟这个经论非常的通透熟悉者，有慈悲者，有智慧者，了悟自心本性者，有菩提心者。这些人都不管他是近或远，你都要依止他们作为你的老师、你的善知识、你的上师。
The great compassions, they never tried to give in the Dharma, and they never tried to benefit or doing something activities for the benefit of other sentient beings. So these are the really qualified teachers for the practicing the Mahamudra or whatever.
那些讲经说法，一直利益众生，永不言变，永不言悔的老师、行者，这些老师、这些善知识、这些根本上是，就是你所要依止的、所要去追寻的。如果你要获得大手印或者大圆满的成就的话。
There's 10 different qualities, but not necessarily every, as I mentioned before, by the way. But all these qualities are the 6 qualities the teacher have such as quality of wisdom and compassion, and all these teacher need, and also teachers well how to teach the students and how to tame their mind. All these qualities should have teachers.
所以不管我们说上师要有10个资格或者6个条件都好，那总而言之，这个上师必须要具足慈悲、具足智慧，同时呀，他要懂得以种种善巧方便呢，来调伏他弟子们的内心，能够通过种种的手段跟方法呢，让他的弟子们见到他们自己的自性本性，像这样的上师才是真正的具德上师跟大善之士。
So especially the who given the pit instructions, who given the doctrine teachings or Mahamudra, all these teachers need to only have unbroken the samaya and disconnection the lineage, and also he or she receiving all the initiations and recite mantra and all these qualities. Then we can rely those teachers, he or he.
特别是那些教我们大名大所领的老师，他们自己本身必须要信守清净的3业界，他们的传承必须要很清楚，没有间断，然后同时清净，没有感悟的。他们对他们所教导的内容要有扎实的基础跟了解跟体悟，所以他们自己的所接受的他们的灌顶的内容、口诀等等解释等等，他们都知道非常清楚。没有这些条件的话，就是不要依止这些作为我们大圆满大手印的老师。
So they should be very aware what kind of sutra tantras, all these teachings they should know. Whatever we have questions, then they will be answered. All the qualities have.
不管是大乘的经教或者密续的经典等等这些，他们必须要非常的通透。掌握通透，然后非常熟悉他们的这些内容，这样的话，他们就能让学生问什么问题，他们能够回答流利的这个回答，流利自如的回答。不是这样的话，就不要依止这些为老师。
So these are great masters we need. So the Buddha mentioned in the sutra, do not set the Ananda in the future, I will transform or I will come in person as a teachers to show in the path to enlightenment. So these teachers are real emanation of the Buddha.
那我们知道这个上师的重要性是多么的，这个上师多么的重要，就看到在经典中佛陀跟阿难讲的一番话，佛陀就说阿难以后我会化身为各种各样的善知识，各种各样的上师来帮助你，来度化你。所以，当今世界上的具德的上师，我们可以把它当作就是释迦如来的不二的化现，就是释迦牟尼佛本身的亲自的显化跟这个现世，他们是来帮助我们的，他们就是诸佛的化现。
So here's how do we rely on teachers. So they can be categorized. So serve them in the three ways. Three ways we serve as a teacher.
现在要怎么样服侍，怎么样去供养这些善知识，怎么样亲近这些上师呢？我们有3种方法。就看到最后一句那边31笔所愿成。
So these are the we have to know. We learned all these qualities. We need all the very beneficial to rely on such a great teachers. So then this Tri Sutra says disciples, teachers like we are as a patients who sick or we have illness, and Dharma as our medicine, and teachers is just as a doctors. So all these should be pay attention to these three categories.
那么呢，3经里面有说明说，我们就好像有病的病人我们的烦恼就是我们的病。那呢，药佛法就是我们的药，我们需要佛法来解救我们的苦恼。上师就是我们的医生，医生就为我们开出药方，我们吃了他开的药方，我们的病就会好。所以这个在这边而言，上师善知识是大医王，就是我们的医生，我们必须要听医生的话。
So the three ways. The first, the lower way, or I mean these three ways. One is lower and middle and the higher way. Sometimes says good or bad or the excellent or whatever. So these three ways. The one way we serve, we offer into the wealth or what we have to the offerings. This is the lower way. This is not very, but it's we says the maybe lower, I think.
然后呢，所谓的3种方法就分上、中、下，上品、中品跟下品。最下的方法就是下品的，就是说你把你所有的资具、你的财富、你所累积的物质的种种物品呢，供养服侍上师，这是下等的。
And the middle way is you serve a teacher, him or her, just serve physically to serve him or her.
然后呢，你服侍上师，在他身边，他教你做什么你就做什么，服侍他，照他的话去做，这是中等的。
The best one is the third. This is we need. We listen the teacher and we have to put the instructions given by teachers. This is the we must to do.
然后最上等的、顶级的、顶峰的、最好的服侍供养上师的方法，就是说上师给你的口诀、给你的诀窍、给你的教授，你都依教奉行，如理如法的去修去做，去证悟他所教的佛法，然后用佛法的修正，用你自己的修行来供养你自己的上师，这就是最好的供养。
So this one is how to rely to the teacher and what is benefit teacher, and all these are finished. So maybe today the morning sections here. So in the afternoon also more important. So I think we meditate on 5 minutes or so, but here I didn't finish all these things, but no matter, just we do meditate for 5 minutes, okay? So the afternoon, the sections will be for returning from the samsara. So these are really important. Each section should be meditate for 10 minutes or something like that. In the future, as I mentioned before, if we train in mind and if we do preliminary teachings, then Dzogchen Mahamudra, no matter sooner or later we achieved or easily to practice.
时间关系，就讲到这个早上的阶段，下午应该是还有没有。那我们就是说，等一下会花5分钟时间去禅修一下。那一般上时间回来，我们也注重这个禅修的这个基础，就是主要是短期4次的短期4场的这个禅心的这个禅修的基础。为什么？因为这个基础打好了，基本功用好的话，以后各位要去修持这个大水大圆满，自然就会水到渠成，得心应手。所以先把这个基础打好，对我们呢也是非常重要的。所以我们要有这个禅修的阶段。
So here we just meditate for today's one thing is the very auspicious day, the darkness day. So we accumulate merits, we gather into merits. It's very powerful. Individual merits is not that much powerful. So here gathering the meditate. So before we're going to meditate, I remind you three things are important by meditation, preliminary meditations.
那么今天是空行5日，非常吉祥殊胜的日子，然后我们所累积的功德会倍增，那这样的话对我们修行上就有今天禅修打坐的话会有很大的功德，所以今天前期的禅修有3个要点，我们就说。
So the first, the body, actually the body, mind, and speech.
3个要点就是我们的身口意，怎么样调身、调口、调意。
So, in order to meditate in the body, which just 7 practices, as you know already.
那身体的调整就是，比如正当佛的气姿、静坐法，大家应该都知道吧
Do like this.
那手要结定，
接定的
放在我们的这个肚脐下端。
And the Vajra postures.
然后这个结金刚加工作，单盘、双盘都可以，散盘也可以，坐在椅子上也可以。
And straight your.
我们脊椎骨要挺直它。
And just the shoulders should be open, relaxedly open.
肩膀要开放，放轻松，放松。
And your tongues up to up. This is in order to surrender something inside, so should be up.
舌抵上颚，让你口水自然的流进你的身体里面。舌抵上颚。
So usually the people like to close eyes, but close eyes is not very good for meditations. After 3 minutes you will fall asleep. So better to half close.
一般上很多人喜欢闭起眼睛打坐，那么就说这样不好，因为你闭起眼睛打坐3分钟之后，你就会已经钓鱼，你就会容易去睡觉去了，所以你就要把眼睛半关半闭，不要关完。
So usually we say look the top of nose, but not actually exactly look the nose, but just towards the in front of you.
一般我们说眼观鼻，鼻观心嘛，眼睛望向你的鼻端，它不是往鼻端，应该是往鼻子的方向去往下看就可以了。眼观鼻。
So especially when you practice in dzogchens, you shouldn't close your eyes.
特别是如果你修持是大圆满的话，你不要把眼睛给闭上。
So this is what we're doing by the body meditations or the gestures of body gestures.
身体的姿势、身体的调整，如何调身，就是这几个要点。
Then a second would say taking a breath. The taking a breath out. There is a dirty breath should be out because at the moment our body is full of the defiled by the ignorance, jealousy, all this kind of delusions, full of the delusions. So when we go to meditate, just like a dishes, after we, taking the food, before the taking food, the dish should be washed. Same as we are going to meditate, our body should be clean.
那一般上呢，那我们的呼吸、调息、调身之后调息，怎样调呼吸呢？一般上我们呼气的时候，把气息呼出来的时候，要把什么气呼出来呢？浊气，不好的气。不好的气是我们内在里面的贪嗔 痴慢疑种种烦恼所造成内在的磁场不好的气，要把它呼出来，把它排除掉。就好像你吃东西的时候，那盘子要洗干净，才能够剩食物，对不对？要不然的话，盘子肮脏就污染了你要吃的食物。所以同样的，我们要领受到佛法的加持，聆听佛法的教言教诲的时候，先要把我们的心、我们的身体洗干净，所以要把这个浊气给排除掉，把肮脏的东西排解出去。
So the first do like this. This is we call the Vajra fist. Vajra fist.
我们先做金刚拳，那先看这个手印金刚拳。
First press here's one of the channels. This press this channel and then do like this. This is we call the Vajra fist.
这个是金刚拳，把拇指按在这个就是无名指的下端，按在这个脉的部分，把它按下去，然后四个手指合起来，这个叫金刚拳。
And here also on the leg here there are two channels. What we call is the blood and the soul channels. They should be pressed.
然后这边左脉右脉就是膝盖跟你的臀骨连接的部分，你要挤压它，就是按住这两条脉。
Same as this one.
就好像两边手都做金刚拳，就是把拇指挤压在这个无名指的下端这边，封住这个脉，然后把。
Just press. There's many meanings in the Kila Chakra teachings. They have the meanings of why we do, and there's such chakra channels. But one day you will know. So now this is just the preliminary practice of meditations. It's not necessary to know every meanings, but this is good for doing.
那么在十轮根本训里面当中，我们说学这个金刚拳啊、气脉一点，为什么要这样修啊？修理什么功德力？但是我们目前是做这个前行的禅修的修法，所以不必懂得很多。但是你只要记得，在这个十轮根本训里面有清楚描述，做这个金刚拳这样做，所以对我们很有帮助。
So then the first like do this.
那开始的时候是这样。
Put on the.
食指伸出来。
Yeah, just like this. Put on the.
放在我们的膝盖上。
And usually, doing like this, or it doesn't matter. You ran, but the purpose is to press your nose.
然后转一下，不管你转不转啊，主要是你要把这个。
Some people do like that or do like that. This no matter, just press. And before press, just take in your breath.
然后要把这个放在我们的右鼻孔上，但是还没有压在右鼻孔的时候，先吸进去。
Take out. Meanwhile, the meditation. Think about all your desires, delusion, all the negative things. Take out, just like a black or dirty smoke, same as like this. All things take out. Think and meditate 3 times.
然后呢，你要观禅修的时候，要把气呼出去的时候，你所有的烦恼啊、染污啦、业障都一下子给呼出去，这样做3次，3遍。
Inhale and exhale. Before the exhale should be inhale.
在呼气之前先吸气，然后把所有的气、浊气都一下子全部呼出来。
And another same way, same as 3 times.
一样的，另外一边3遍。
Then the middle was 3 times.
然后中间的3遍。
Then after total 9 times, and then you meditate, your bodies become very clean as we seen the very clean like bottles or crystals.
所以3次、一共9遍，所以把它名字叫9界佛风。那当你做完这9界佛风之后，你就观想你的身体好像
then your body is for valuable for meditation and will become very very clean. And then after you can just, this is Lungchinba, one of the texts, of course, the Dzogchen teachings. So the gesture of the relaxation meditations, you can put hands on, cover your knee, or you are just like this, no matter whatever you like.
那龙七八尊者这个就告诉我们，大圆满的诀窍是这样：先做9节佛功，然后进入这个禅定当中，把你的手，向下安放在你膝盖上，或者结定印也可以。
Then visualize the Lord Buddha's above you, are just not too much high, but it's just the middle of your head. Visualize and meditate on one of the Buddhas there.
然后观想在你前面的，跟你的额头、你的眉间这边对等的前面的虚空中，有一尊佛在你的前面。
If you practicing as a certain things like the Vajra Sadhu or whatever you practice in some like Buddhas, then you can visualize that Buddha is in front of you, or not to equal, but just a little bit above. And these meditate exactly before you meditate, just steer the pictures or Thangka Pantrins, those are already blessed one.
那么呢，你首先就是要观想你的本尊稍微高的地方，你的额头或者你眉毛直线上稍微高的地方，在你前面的虚空中。所以在你还没有观想你自己的本尊，你自己本尊，比如说金刚萨或者其他的，去观想它们出现在你的前面的虚空中。你先拿那个已经开光的，所谓的开光的装藏的，或者佛像也好，堂牌也好，去看那个本尊长什么样，然后去观想那本尊样子出现在你的前面的观修中就可以了。
These tankas, it's if too big for the meditation, then your mind is difficult to come to the point. So it's not too much big, or just middle of maybe like this.
那个塔卡的佛像太大的话，你就无法集中精神，所以不大不小看它，不大不小看它就可以了。
And visualize each part of the Buddhas, the first like eyes, ear, nose, every clearly, detailedly, and cleanly, vivid visualize or image your mind.
所以观想这个本尊的圣容，它的样子样貌，眼睛、鼻子、耳朵、嘴巴等等的观想的一清二楚，清清楚楚、了了分明的，一点不马虎。所以要很清楚的观想本尊的圣容。以及他各个的面容的征兆真相。
So no matter if you're difficult to imagine how the body, doesn't matter. Just Lord Buddha's one like a nose or eyes, one single of a part of his body. Also you can visualize.
如果观想不到佛陀的本尊整个的身体的话，你要观想一部分，比如说他的眼睛啊，他的鼻子啊，观想一部分呢，把你心力聚焦在那上面就可以了。
After increasing your understanding of the meditation, object meditation.
就是你要了解你的观修的所依物，就是你观修的对象是什么，它的内容是什么，它的特质是什么，那就可以了。
So then just meditate as much as you can, 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Then after this meditate, then you think these Buddhas become as a rain of light.
所以观修大概5分钟或者10分钟，然后到最后的时候呢，这个你所观修的对象，这个本尊呢，最后化为光。
And then become your mind.
然后进入你自己，和你的心打成一片，成为无二。
That moment your mind and Buddha's mind mix together, and that clear light mind, or just emptiness within their emptiness, is we usually call their zero, but maybe I will talk another time. And so just you think about receiving your blessing of your your mind and Buddha's mind. This is what we call mixing the mind with the Buddha.
到最后，你的心跟本尊菩萨心打成一片，那个时候就得到了这个本尊的加持。那 我们所以你能起证到属于明空不二的心，这个有些词也会讲成这样明空不二，那就是你的自性本性。所以这样的话，你就领受到了本尊的加持力，你的心跟本尊的心是完全等同无无别，这个就是本尊的加持。
These three are the preliminary of meditation.
这个就是三个前行禅修法的要点。
Then after you can engage your main meditations.
然后到最后，下来可以进行主要的你的一些功课，你的禅修功课。
Your bodies become clean. You receiving the Buddha's blessing, and then you're easy to engage in other practice.
你的身体变干净了，然后你净化你的口语恶业之后，那其他你要进入其他的行门、其他功课，那未尝不可，是可以做的。
Thank you.
谢谢各位。
回向。
我们回向啊。
说那么的，当家是把你东尼你别占了，当家家一个南街瓦龙之吧，这边做人做啊做个小。你是 what time?
其实你在7点3点了，应该是7点3点2点。
It's 1.5 hours. It's 1 o'clock stop, is it? 2:30. You can bring earlier also can in case if you guys have time.
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
Okay.